Of course, external countries calling for calm. China has added its voice, calling for all sides to sort of refrain from escalating tensions. The US calling on the DPRK to refrain from acts that could raise tensions higher. And yet, very little is changing on the ground here. All of this, of course, coming really from two tracks. One is from the efforts of Kim Jong-un to sort of divide the two Koreas into two different countries rather than two states within one country, and the acts we've seen throughout the year, such as the destruction of monuments, finally escalating into that destruction of the two main, largely symbolic roads that were rebuilt about 20 years ago that connect the two Koreas. But on top of that, we have this issue of propaganda, balloons and drones. For years, defectors here have been sending propaganda balloons north, which has angered Pyongyang. What we've seen in the last few months is thousands of balloons carrying trash flying south. And now it seems Pyongyang is claiming that drones, different aspects of the military, or Kim Yo-jong blaming the United States, that's Kim Jong-un's sister, the army blaming South Korea, but saying drones have been flying at night, dropping anti-DPRK propaganda over the capital. Kim Jong-un calling a meeting with his generals. This is the first time we've heard of an emergency meeting like this, threatening either some sort of a conflict or all-out war with South Korea if this continues. And in return, we've had the president's office here saying, and the military, that if any harm comes to South Korean citizens, that the regime will be finished. So threats coming from both sides. And I think a good analyst of this today in the opinion pieces we've seen here is one columnist comparing this to a game of chicken, which of course when two cars race towards each other to see which will swerve first. And the problem is neither seems to be about to swerve. And so people asking, how are we going to sort of escape a head-on collision at this point when you have the DPRK activating all of its soldiers along the front line at the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, putting them on a war footing. We've seen recently 250 additional rocket launchers brought down there capable of launching nuclear-capable missiles, and we've heard there's some sort of mobilization in response from South Korea. We haven't been given the details, but it does seem to be that troops and artillery have been put on some sort of war footing on the southern side. Now, analysts are saying that doesn't mean there's going to be a war, but the scope here for an accidental exchange or a mishap seems to be growing. And of course, everybody wondering, how do we diffuse this situation? And right now, there are more question marks than answers around that situation.